Hello, my name is Adrian Ryans. I'm a professor at IMD, the leading international business school in Lausanne, Switzerland. Thank you for downloading this videocast, which is partly based on my book, Beating Low-Cost Competition, published by John Wiley & Sons. This videocast is one of 6 videocasts providing advice on how to beat low-cost competition. For information on the full videocast series, please go to this URL. We are reaching the end of the series, and this videocast draws on some discussion of earlier videocasts and provides ideas on how to build a successful low-cost business. This videocast has 2 parts. First, we summarize some of the arguments for and against entering the low-cost segment. Some of this was covered in videocast 2, and you may want to download it. Second, we look at the advantages and disadvantages of 2 implementation choices: an independent business versus an integrated unit. As usual, we will rely on real-life examples. In this videocast, you will hear about Dow Corning's silicone business and a French optical chain.
Should you enter the low-cost fray? Remember that it is a highly competitive arena where margins can be razor thin. This means that big mistakes are not tolerated. You must have an intense focus on your costs so that you can be highly competitive on a cost and price basis. If you are successful, the financial rewards can be quite attractive, as companies like Ryanair and Aldi can attest. What are the main arguments for entering the low-cost battlefield? There are 5 that we think top the list. Many customers are looking for good enough products, so there is often a large market potential. As you get to know your good enough customers, you may uncover new opportunities to serve them profitably. Some of your low-cost customers will grow and over time will demand more upscale products. If they are happy with you and your products, they may naturally move to your premium offers. There are often some synergies between the good enough business and your high-end business. For example, the 2 product lines may share some components, and the combined volume will allow you to purchase or make them more cheaply, thus benefiting the bottom line of both businesses. By directly challenging your low-cost competitors in the good enough segment of the market, you may be able to impact their profitability and slow their growth.
Let us now look at the flip side of the coin. What are the reasons for avoiding the low-cost slaughtering fields? There are 3 that should be emphasized. Entering the good enough segment can lead to conflict with the premium business. It can encourage cannibalization, as existing clients jump ship from your traditional product range to the good enough range. But won't you be happy that they switch to your good enough products rather than a competitor's? Trying to compete in 2 very different businesses may result in your company losing focus and being successful in neither.
Let us move to how to structure a low-cost venture. You are at a fork in the road, and you must choose which direction to take.
The right-hand path is the independent structure, the self-standing business unit that will house the low-cost venture. The advantages of this strategic choice usually outweigh the disadvantages. Among the most notable arguments in favor of the right road, this does not saddle the low-cost business with any of the high overhead costs often associated with a premium business, such as an expensive IT system, big staffs, or fancy offices. Independence is especially critical to develop a truly low-cost culture in the new business. If there are few real synergies with the traditional business, it will benefit from the greater flexibility that independence allows. Now for the path on the left. Down that road, the low-cost division is more integrated into the existing company. There are some advantages to this path, namely, it allows the premium and good enough businesses to more easily share key resources that both need and where there are real economies of scale, such as a common manufacturing capability. It avoids unnecessary intense competition between a good enough startup division and an established better-than-thou division. It allows customers to more easily transition from the good enough products to the premium products as their needs change. It allows the mother company to leverage its brand, if a common brand makes sense.
So much for the theory. Let's look at a couple of real examples. Shall we start with a French retailer of eyeglasses called Grand Optical? In the 1990s, this chain operated a high-end stores, offering frames and prescription lenses in less than 1 hour. To deliver this value proposition, each store carried 3,500 frames and a lab that could make the lenses on site. The typical customer paid 300 to 400 euros. Yet management felt there was potentially a big opportunity in the good enough segment. So it tested out a different store concept called Général d'Optique. These stores offered less choice, only 2,000 frames, and delivery in 3 days. But for the bargain hunter, a price of only €100. The new concept took off, and the company ended up with more low-cost than full-service stores.
For our second example, let us turn to Dow Corning, the American joint venture company formed by Dow Chemical and Corning Glass back in 1943. Dow Corning is the world leader in silicones, which have thousands of applications in construction, personal care products, cars, and electronics. In the early 2000s, the company was feeling the heat from low-cost competitors. Many of the uses for silicone were starting to become commoditized, so Dow Corning's management decided to act before the price-seeking customers had abandoned Dow Corning for its low-cost competitors.
Dow Corning developed a separate business unit called Xyometer that shared the manufacturing infrastructure of the premium business but sold a limited range of the more commoditized silicone products over the internet. Xyometer's prices were about 15% lower than what Dow Corning charged, but the customer received no technical support and had to agree to some strict business rules, including relatively long lead times, strict payment terms, heavy cancellation penalties, almost no customer service, etc. The result? Dow Corning was able to serve both the premium solution-seeking customers and the price-seeking customers profitably, what one calls a win-win. In this videocast, we have discussed the main arguments for and against entering the good enough segment of the market. If you decided to take the plunge, we then looked at some of the arguments for an independent versus a more integrated low-cost business. Finally, we looked at a couple of companies that were successful in the good enough space using somewhat different strategies.
We hope that you have found this videocast useful. Should you have any questions or comments, please contact us at this email. Additionally, thank you for spreading the word about this series to your friends and colleagues.
Thank you once again, and good luck in your low-cost ventures.